Learning is not attained coincidentally, but acquired by perseverance. This is Masinloc's School on the Air, bringing you new experiences through fun and meaningful learning. Masinloc School in the Air, your partner in the new normal learning. Good day, grade 9 junior high school learners. Welcome to another day of learning in the world of science. I am Teacher Maybe Tawataw of Taltal National High School. I will be your virtual teacher for today. I want you to make yourself ready. Get your pen and notebook and make notes while we discover new concepts together. Are you ready? After going through this module, you are expected to: number 1, infer characteristics of stars based on the characteristics of the sun. Number 2, infer that the arrangement of stars in a group or constellation does not change for a very long period of time. And number 3, observe how the position of constellation changes in the course of the study. Let us check your prior knowledge about constellation. I am going to read statements or questions and choose the letter of the best answer. Write your answers in your activity notebook or on a separate sheet of paper. For numbers 1 to 3, use the table below that presents information about stars A, B, C, and D. Number 1. Which star is the hottest? Letter A, B, C, or D? Number 2. Which star is very similar to our sun? Letter A, B, C, or D? Number 3. Which is the coolest star? A, B, C, or D? Number 4. How do stars appear to move in the night sky? A. From east to west. B. From west to east. C. From north to south. And D. From south to north. Number 5. Why do stars appear to move in the sky? A. New galaxies are formed. B. The night sky is rotating. C. The universe is expanding. And letter D. The earth is rotating on its axis. Well done, class! You got it right. Now that we have assessed your prior knowledge, let us now proceed to our discussion proper. Constellations are imaginary group of stars. Have you tried gazing? You might have observed that there are a lot of constellations that you can find in the night sky. But have you ever wondered if all of these constellations are present in every season in the night sky? In this module, you will learn about characteristics of stars. You will also learn about the patterns that form from groups of stars. These patterns in the night sky appear to move in the night because of Earth's rotation. Different star patterns are seen at different times of the year because of the Earth's movement around the sun. This module provides you with different activities that will help you learn more about constellations that may be observed at different times of the year. Direction. Match the zodiac sign from column A to its corresponding symbol found under column B. Write your answer in your activity notebook or on a separate sheet of paper. Column A, number 1, Aquarius. Number 2, Aries. Number 3, Cancer. Number 4, Capricorn. Number 5, Gemini. Number 6, Leo. 7, Libra. 8, Pisces. 9, Sagittarius. 10, Scorpio. 11, Taurus. And 12, Virgo. For column B, you have A, Archer. B. Bull. C. Crab. D. Fishes. E. Goat. F. Lion. G. Ram. H. Scales. I. Scorpion. J. Twins. K. Virgin. And L. Water bearer. Constellations are defined as a group of stars which form a particular pattern and are named and identified by their traditional mythological figures. Zodiacs are also constellations, but also constellations are not zodiac constellations. What is a star? A star is a massive ball of plasma that emits light through the universe. While there is only one star in our solar system, there are billions upon billions of stars throughout our galaxy and exponentially more in the billions of galaxies in the universe. A star can be defined by basic characteristics. Number 1, brightness. Number 2, color. Number 3, surface temperature. Number 4, size. And number 5, mass. Brightness. Two characteristics define brightness: luminosity and magnitude. Luminosity is the amount of light that a star radiates. The size of the star and its surface temperature determine its luminosity. Apparent magnitude of star is perceived brightness, factoring in size and distance, while absolute magnitude in its true brightness, irrespective of its distance from the Earth. Color. A star's color depends on its surface temperature. Coolest star tends to be redder in color, while hotter stars have bluer appearance. Stars in the mid-ranges are white or yellow, such as our sun. Stars can also blend colors, such as red-orange stars or blue-white stars. Surface temperature. Astronomers measure a star's temperature on the Kelvin scale. 0 degrees on the Kelvin scale is the theoretically absolute and is equal to negative 237.15 degrees Celsius. The coolest red stars are approximately 2,500 Kelvin, while the hottest stars can reach temperature up to 50,000 Kelvin, and our sun is about 5,500 Kelvin. Size. Astronomers measure the size of a given star in terms of our own sun's radius. Thus, a star that measures one solar radius would be the same size as our sun. The star Rigel, which is much larger than our sun, measures 78 solar radii. A star size along with its surface temperature will determine luminosity. Mass. A star mass is also measured in terms of our sun, with one equal to the size of our sun. For instance, Rigel, which is much larger than our sun, has a mass of 3.5 solar mass. Two stars of a similar size may not necessarily have the same mass, as stars can vary greatly in density. What is constellation? A constellation is any group of stars forming a recognizable pattern that is traditionally named after its apparent form, or identified with a mythological figure. Modern astronomers divide the sky 88 constellations with defined boundaries. Color and temperature of selected stars. patterns in the sky. Away from the city of lights on a clear, moonless night, the naked eye can see 2,000 to 3,000 stars. As you look at these stars, your mind may group them into different shapes or patterns. People of nearly every culture throughout history have looked at the stars and given names to shapes they saw. They even invented stories to go with them. For example, the pattern that the Greeks named Orion, the hunter, was also seen by the ancient Chinese who saw it as a supreme warrior named Shen. The Chemehuevi Native Americans of California desert saw the same group of stars as a line of three sure-footed mountain sheep. The patterns of stars seen in the sky are usually called constellations, although more accurately, a group of stars that form a pattern in the sky is called an asterism. Astronomers use the term constellation to refer to an area of the sky. The International Astronomical Union, or IAU, divides the sky into 88 official constellations with exact boundaries, so that every place in the sky belongs within a constellation. Most of the constellations in the Northern Hemisphere are based on the constellations invented by the ancient Greeks, while most in the Southern Hemisphere are based on names given to them by 17th century European explorers. Apparent movement of the sun through the night. The stars in the sky stay in approximately the same positions relatively to each other. Orion is always near Taurus. Ursa Minor is always surrounded by Draco. The stars do not move relative to each other much at all. They are constant background painting as we look at the sky. There are some subtle movements, however, as we orbit the sun over the course of the year, stars that are near to us move left and right in a little more than stars further away. It is a subtle effect, but it makes sense. If you walk down the street and look in the distance, you will notice that faraway objects do not move much relative to you when compared to nearby objects. This is what naturally happens when things at different distances. In fact, we can use this effect to calculate the distances to some of the nearby stars by a method called parallax. Parallax is where we measure how much a star moves while we orbit around the sun and use that information to calculate the distance to that star. However, these movements are not the most significant ones we observe as we look at the stars in the sky. While the background painting of the stars stays basically the same, the whole painting moves every night. Over the course of a night, if you watch the stars, you might notice that this makes a circle. In the Northern Hemisphere, every star in the sky circles around the North Star or Polaris. In fact, if we take a really long exposure with a camera, we can see the star trace this motion trace. Why do stars circle around the North Star? Well, the stars aren't really moving at all. It's really that the Earth is rotating. The axis of the Earth's rotation goes through the North Pole and South Pole. And that's why stars appear to move around the point which is directly above the North Pole, the North Pole star Polaris. The star is nothing special. It's just a star that happens to be right above your head when you're at the North Pole. In the Southern Hemisphere, there is a similar pattern. The stars appear to rotate around the point directly above the South Pole. The only difference is that there isn't a South Star. There just happens to be not a visible star directly above the South Pole. On the other hand, there is also constellations that appears to move in the circle around the night sky as the Earth orbits of the Sun. It is called circumpolar constellations. These are constellations which are always above the horizon. Circumpolar constellations include Cepheus, Cassiopeia, Camelopardalis, Draco, Lynx, Ursa Major, and Ursa Minor. Now, I'm going to show you an illustration of different patterns of constellations. I want you to be familiar with different patterns of constellations found from north to south and east to west. What group of stars do you commonly see? Different star patterns throughout the year. If we observe throughout the year, the constellations shift gradually to the west. This is caused by the Earth's orbit around our Sun. In the summer, viewers are looking in a different direction in space at night than they are during the winter. Earth orbits our Sun once each year. Viewed from Earth, our Sun appears to trace a circular path. This path defines a plane called plane of the ecliptic or just ecliptic. The zodiac is the group or belt of constellations that fall along the plane of the ecliptic. It is through these constellations that our Sun appears to pass during the year. While there are 12 astrological constellations of the zodiac, there are 13 astronomical zodiac constellations: the Capricornus, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpius, Sagittarius, and Pisces. The annual cycle of the zodiac was used by the ancient culture to determine the time of the year. Canis Major, Cetus, Eridanus, Gemini, Perseus, Taurus, and Orion are seen during winter or cold season. Aquila, Cygnus, Hercules, Lyra, Ophiuchus, Sagittarius, and Scorpius are prominent on summer. Boots, Cancer, Crater, Hydra, Leo, and Virgo are seen during spring. At autumn, Andromeda, Aquarius, Capricornus, Pegasus, and Pisces are prominent. For our activity number 1, which is hotter? Directions. Compare the stars given below. Write less than if the first star is hotter than the second one, and greater if the second star is hotter than the first one, and equal if the two stars are equal in temperature. Write your answers in your notebook or in a separate sheet of paper. You got it right! Let's answer another activity to check your understanding. I am going to show you scrambled letters of words related to constellation. Unscramble them and be familiar with these terminologies. For activity number 2, jumbled letters. Our direction: unscramble the letters to create a word. There is a hint to answer on each item. Write your answers in your activity notebook or on a separate sheet of paper. Number 1. The 88 group of stars that make an officially recognized shape. Number 2. It is also known as the North Star. Number 3. The name of the only star in the solar system. Number 4. A massive ball of plasma that emits light throughout the universe. Number 5. Luminosity and magnitude. Number 6. The color of the sun. Number 7. People who study stars' outer space. Number 8. The stars at night look like moving due to Earth. And number 9. The group of constellations that fall along the plane of the ecliptic. Number 10. God of Sun from the Philippine mythology. You got it all right. You are doing great so far. I want you to continue working on the remaining activities in your guided learning activity kit. I hope you learned a lot about constellation, and when you look at the night sky, you can identify the constellation that you see, hoping that observing the night sky gives you fascination. Again, this is Teacher Mayvi Tawata saying, learning is not attained coincidentally, but acquired by perseverance. See you next time!